My name is Noelia Alonso Gonzalez. Hello, I'm a biologist by training, working in immunology. During the last 3 years, I built my research group with a junior group leader position at the University of Münster. And now recently I took over a professorship in macrophage biology. My situation in life, I am a mother of 2 kids, which keeps me busy. In my life as a scientist, I'm particularly interested in the resolution of inflammation and how this process is different in different organs of the body, how the tissues can regulate this and how the cells of the immune system can contribute to make this different. We focus in macrophages, that are cells of the immune system that are in the first line of immune defense. And we are particularly interested how these macrophages are able to clear cell death that happens in organs as a consequence of inflammatory stimuli. At the beginning of my career, for example, when I was a PhD student, for me the most exciting part was the day-to-day work, meaning like going to the microscopy, getting the results of our experiments, and did it work, did it not? But I wasn't really thinking that much on the big picture, maybe. So I did my PhD in the Canary Islands in Spain. And then I moved to the US, to Yale in New Haven, where immunology is such a huge topic. And for me, that research environment was just amazing. Once you start producing results, then you start going to conferences and build your own network with other scientists around the world, and then you realize that you can actually make an impact and that your research is not just this little cell that you saw under the microscope, but it can actually mean something else. And at least for me, that was what made me decide that I really wanted to stay in science and that I wanted to pursue a career in science. I personally don't feel like I'm facing challenges every day, unique challenges just for being a woman in science. But I guess just for being a parent in science, it can be really exhausting. And these are mostly the same challenges that my partner has to face. But it's true that the way society sees it is that I should take more care of the family life than him, for example. No? Sometimes I find myself almost excusing myself because I went back to work before my kids are 1 year old, while my partner never has to even explain that because he's supposed to be working already when the babies are born. We scientists, we do face a lot of challenges. That also relate to your family, no? Starting from like mobility. Up to now, if you want to pursue a career in science and you want to get to a leading position, moving around countries is almost a must. And for me, it wasn't much of a problem because also that fit with my personal life. But I know some people who don't want and are fantastic scientists. I don't consider that I have it more difficult than a man could have had it in my situation. But then if you look at obviously statistics and you look around, you see that women are still way underrepresented in leading positions, and in some meetings or in some networks and consortiums, you see how the amount of women is usually lower than the amount of men. But you also see how sometimes our word is not taken that serious. My group is now composed mostly by women. What I always tell them is, if you think you cannot do something, it's because you don't feel comfortable with that particular thing, but not because you are a woman. But you always have to keep in mind that someone will see you as not capable enough just because you are a woman. You do really need to believe that you are equal. So don't give them the power, and then it will be fine.